the body of the car. You want to look at the body, if there's any dents and scratch. Like for instance, this, we have a dent right here. It's not much. You can just use a panel beater to beat it out, so that is not really a big issue. Next, you want to look at the trim of the car, the doors. Open up the door, make sure the door closes and sounds properly, not sounding unsafe. It has been involved in an accident. So you want to check if your body is in perfect shape. So as you can see, we don't have any problem with this body. The door opens and locks pretty fine. All the handles are still there, pretty fine. So once we're done with the exterior part, checking the exterior, you want to check your side mirrors. Check the mirrors. This part has no dents, well fitted. The bumper though has some scratches, but the body really is not the major concern here. Then you want to check the interior of the car. Make sure the seats are not torn. As you can see, the seats are not torn. Has some bit of dirt here. The interior of the car. Check the front. Come back and check the back. There's no major damage in any of the upholstery. It's fine. So we'll give the interior a good pass. That should help you in your bargaining. You want to check the trunk, the boots. Don't mind my personal properties. So you want to check the boots. Check if there's a spare tire, a jack, there's a wheel spanner, fire extinguisher, and there's some tools you can use in repairing your minor repairs on your car. You also want to check if there's any rust or hole in the car. As for this case, there are rusts. You can use coater to coat it up, but there's no major hole, so it's good. You need to get a mat. You can get your floor mat, sit on it, and then you check under the car. Check for any holes or major rust under the car. You check the exhaust pipe. If everything is okay, in this case, everything looks good and fine, looks very clean and decent. So that one is good. You want to also check if there's any oil leak. So while the car is parked, you can check for oil leaks. In this case, I drained out some oil from this car yesterday, so that's why you're seeing some oil right there. But normally there's no leak in this car. Well, you want to check for a car you are buying if there's any drop of oil. If there's a drop of oil, it's not a good sign that that's a good car. You may want to check, diagnose where the leak is coming from, and fix it. Body parts, we've seen the exterior of the car. Now we need to check what is inside the engine. We've checked the boot already. We need to check what's inside the engine. Check how the engine runs, if it runs smoothly. I'll open the bonnet. So we have the bonnet open. First thing you want to look out for is if there's any leak of oil anywhere. Like maybe the head gasket leaking. You may want to seal it up. That should give you a way of negotiating the price of the car after you must have done a research on that particular model, on how much a very decent one costs. You can do plus or minus, and then have bargaining power. So first of all, you want to open up the engine cap. Open up the engine cap, see if there's any sludge in it. See if there's any sludge. As in this case, this is very neat and decent, very clean. The cap, no sludge, no any sludge attached to it. So the engine is still in a very good shape. Obviously, you want to check the engine oil dipstick. What you want to look out for here is if there's any mix with water or coolant. In this case, it's just pure engine oil. You also want to smell it. If it smells of fuel, it's a bad sign. That may be a sign of blown head gasket. Then you want to check up your radiator, the coolant. Check if it's mixed with oil. In this case, not mixed with oil, it's pure water, distilled water. You want to check your power steering pump oil. Yes, it's up to gauge. There's no mix of coolant in it. You also want to check your brake oil. Your brake oil, is it neat? Is it neat? Yeah, it's neat. Decent and clean. You look at the battery. If this thing right here, if this transparent part is green, if it's green from the indicator, means good condition. Okay. Then you want to check on the wiring. Are there a lot of masking? Are there a lot of black tapes? Has the wiring been tampered with, or is still the same factory fitted back wiring? Check around for tapes like this, tapes like this, tapes like this. If you have a lot of tapes everywhere, it means the wiring has been worked on. To start up the engine and see how the car runs. So now we've checked out the engine. Everything seems to be, very okay. Now you want to turn on the key right here. You want to turn it on to this level. Do not start it yet. Turn it on to this level, which is written on. You check the dashboard of the car. You want to make sure all these lights is on. The oil lights, the check engine lights, the battery lights, the handbrake lights, the seat belt lights, then the door lights, the door indicator. This means the brain box of the engine, the brain box of the car is sending the information as regards what's happening on the car to the dashboard. This is a good sign. You want to check the mileage of the car. In this case, this is 76,858 miles. Now you want to start the engine up. Okay, so now started the engine up. As you can see, the check engine light has gone off, the battery light has gone off, the oil pump light has gone off, which is a good indicator. So we shut the door. You see the door sign has gone off. You take off when you put on the belt. I put on the belt sign has also gone off. So the ECU of this car is working perfectly well. Even taking down the handbrake goes off. No lights in the dashboard, which is a good sign. When you turn on the engine, you need to come out and then check the exhaust pipe. You want to check if there's any unusual kind of smoke coming out from the exhaust, the tailpipe. In this case, no unusual smoke. It's clear. It's almost like water vapor. Put your hand right here. You can see there's no unusual film. It's just like water vapor coming out. You also want to cover it and listen if there's any pressure pushing your hand backward. If there's no pressure pushing your hand backward, that means your exhaust pipe is having a leak. Can you hear that sound? That means the exhaust pipe has no leak because of that pressure, that sound you heard, the pressure sound. You can check your suspensions by giving it a push. If it comes up, if it bounces and wobbles, that means your suspensions is going out. But in this case, it just comes up straight up. You will want to do that for every part. If you hear any noise, that can indicate that your suspension system, the suspension system of the car is going bad. If you have a scan tool, you can put up a scan tool and check the electronics of the car. Get some error codes if there's any error codes in the car. But if you don't, this is the basic things you can do to check the car. But if you have access to a scan tool, I recommend that you use a scan tool. Watching today's video. If you find value from this video, please give this video a thumbs up, share this video to other driver platforms,